Welcome to Beyond the Signboard, where you get the opportunity to learn all there is to know about your real estate journey from professionals who are passionate about property. I'm Amy Bennett, your host, and I look forward to providing you with education, inspiration, and a behind-the-scenes look at the world of real estate. Well, here we are, Mr. Brad Filiponi. Exciting to have you here.
Thanks for having us, Amy.
I am so excited. We have a very long history together and we will be able to delve and share into that. Really excited to have you here. Sunshine Coast living legend, the man, the myth, co-founder of boxbrownie.com.
Thank you very much. I was just checking out the buttons, obviously matching the hair, the pink and the purple.
Yeah, that's right. We've got it. It's all on brand. Absolutely. So great to have you on the podcast. So good to have you back on the coast as well. You're a man that is traveling a lot with your incredible career and business.
Yes, you sort of almost really call it, I always say 8 years because that's how old my oldest son is.
Yes.
And it was really started all when he was literally still in the womb and being born. But yeah, probably 8 years of international travel, further and more times than anyone else in the scene, I'd say.
Yeah,
so
what was it, over 200 nights away, something like that?
Oh, look, on average, each year I was away more than I was home. And I would hate to actually add up all the travel hours in transit and flights that I did. It would be fun to do one day, but at the moment we're just too busy doing something else.
What were you doing in your travel time? What do you use in that time? Transit on planes, you sort of maximise that time or have a break?
It's hard. It's a bit of both. It depends. Unlike most people, we just won't do one conference. We might do 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row.
Yeah, absolutely.
So literally it's a conference bender.
Yes.
And, you're fighting with your international time zone differences and, not just sort of flying from state to state, which, a lot of other people would do as well,
yes.
In the scene. So, it's been a wild ride. I think I'm glad, this year we've really, turned off the travel.
Yes.
We're still doing conferences. I'm doing a lot less and working in the business a lot more.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be home away from my kids as much as I don't have to, if that makes sense. I've done a lot of that.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it, to have that time. You mentioned you've just had a family holiday as well.
We just went to Bali, which was really good.
Yeah.
8 days over there, just off technology. Obviously, still worked every day.
Yes.
It was my 40th birthday, so we just sort of
happy
stuck
birthday.
over. Thank you very much. Thank you. And
you made it?
Yeah, I made it. Yeah, grateful for that.
It's sneaking up for me.
It was good. A couple of quiet bintangs and literally a couple of massages every day. That's really what we go over for, and just to relax and live in Balinese time, I guess if you want to call it that.
Yeah, such a happy country and so grateful, despite having, not much, it just shows you what's important in life, doesn't it?
I think they're just beautiful inside and out,
yes.
You know what I mean? And everyone's got a smile on their face.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
It's organised chaos,
yes.
but as you said, everyone's happy. So it's a great place for the kids, you know what I mean? And, we're just kicking soccer balls on the beach, each night. It's just, the things that you should be doing here on the coast.
Correct.
But you forget about it.
Yeah.
And it's been a really good reset for me. So, once a week I'll put it in my diary where we're going down the beach and kicking the ball.
Good.
So just things like that. It's almost like just living the simpler life sometimes can be amazing.
Absolutely. We were just talking about that. It's really going back to basics, isn't it? And I think, that, we were both really fortunate to have an amazing, upbringing here on the coast. So before we kind of get deep into the world of Box Brownie, let's learn a little bit about your career journey. It's its own chapter, that's for sure.
Yeah. I suppose I finished high school, finished grade 12. I went to a private school here on the Sunshine Coast, Emmanuel Lutheran College. Mm-hmm. Never really an academic. Proud to say my OP was 24 out of 25.
Hey, just beat me. I was 21, so we were there together.
So I think, I remember going to a really prestige, school in Melbourne, and I remember the principal back then saying, "You get out what you put in," and it's really stuck in my mind ever since then. So school wasn't a big thing for me, but I did a TAFE course after school, worked with a very, famous photographer here on the coast called Greg Gardner.
Yeah, Greg's amazing.
Love Greg.
Yeah.
Love my time with him. I'd love to maybe be his assistant again one day. You never know. But
so funny because it seems that he's borne quite a few real estate agents under his wing.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
amazing.
he's I was probably his first offshooter, if you want to call it that. We did a lot of weddings. He taught me the importance of real estate photos. And back then, obviously, there was no REA, domain, things like that. So it was the Sunshine Coast Property Week.
Yes.
In the Daily.
Yes.
And obviously, back then, it all wasn't colour gloss.
Yeah, okay.
So it was black and white.
Wow.
All throughout, and only the edges were colour gloss.
Okay.
So that's how long I've been doing it. And back then I was actually shooting on film camera.
I thought you'd say that. Yeah,
So
gosh.
processing the photos. Big W was my photo lab. We'd get them processed. I'd separate them good, bad, no good, keep that one. And whatever they got, they got.
Yeah, wow.
And then I hand deliver them back to the office literally most of the time overnight.
Yes.
But it was a very niche thing back then. Agents were just taking photos on their little film cameras and doing it themselves,
Yeah.
and the quality was a lot different. So I've been in the game a long time. Not many people can say that.
I like that. I had Grant Smith on the podcast not long ago. He was actually I can't remember what it was. He worked for Rabbit Photo here on the coast. And we were and I was just saying about I used to get my films done at Kmart in Maroochydore. Funny, we were just talking about
Fun
that.
fact, I think I told Grant I was on a cruise recently and he was on it.
Yeah, I heard. I think you feature on his podcast as well.
G'day, Grant. How are you, mate? I did my REIQ course back when David Carrera was training.
Yes.
Grant did it the same time I did.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's epic. That's so cool.
So I still remember him from back then.
Yeah,
so,
amazing. Look, he's an incredible Asian, incredible person. And I think to have that tenure in the industry is insane. So a testament to you as well.
It's kind of like both of us, which is pretty cool.
So what would you capture? I'm just fascinated by you said about the black and white image. So you would have had to been really.
It was film. It wasn't black and white, but still colour.
But when it was printed, it was black and white. So you had to.
So a lot of the things I actually So the property week itself was black and white.
Yes.
Most of the photos I was taking were for the colour gloss.
Okay,
So it was film camera,
Yes.
colour film, processed, and it would get probably scanned.
Yes.
And placed in,
terrible, isn't it?
and somehow submitted to the Daily.
Yes.
And it was always for the colour gloss. Sometimes I had plenty of features on the front page and back pages, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, amazing.
Probably still got them lying around, but not that it really matters.
Oh, it's good when you go back.
The rest is history.
Yeah, you go through those archives. So then you moved into real estate?
I did. I worked for, back then it was PRD Nationwide Kiwana Waters.
Yes.
Back when Sid Walker had the Maroochydore office, working under Mark Uncle.
Yeah, wow.
So I did my full REIQ license, official agent. But back then, Grant was probably the youngest person selling real estate. But
Correct.
It wasn't a thing like it is now.
Yeah.
It actually wasn't. So I was a bit scared to dive in.
Yes, chat through that. So that was, you felt there was an age barrier?
I believe so.
Yeah,
especially back then. This is a long time ago, and I was customer service, so for a good at least 2 years. So I really learned, the nuts and bolts of the industry. Obviously, how important marketing was.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because all we were selling was, Bedina beachfront.
Yes.
Deepwater canal front, and that was really it. So it was always about the marketing.
Well, and we talk about what that cost as well. To have those full page articles in print. Huge campaigns, weren't they? And
if you got a half page, quarter page, full page,
yes.
like thousands back then,
that's
which is probably. I don't know. I'd feel it would feel more expensive back then than what it would now.
Absolutely, and I think there'd be no sort of payment plan options or anything like that, like there is nowadays. So, having the confidence around, I think that's probably a really key component, isn't it? Having the confidence to be able to demonstrate, to a client why marketing is important.
When you're selling your biggest asset,
Absolutely.
Let's face it, money doesn't grow on trees, and you've got to be really careful with the money you earn because it's hard to earn, easy to spend, right?
Absolutely, that's right.
Marketing, it is such a fiddle thing. You can get so much benefit from it, but then of course you can just blow money out the window at the same time.
Yeah, and I think probably like talking about your time in real estate would have been really hard to measure, the results of those marketing campaigns. So different to now where we've got reports, analytics, live. I mean, now I can see how many people have added an open home to their plan on realestate.com.
You can do split tests on Facebook ads.
Yes.
You've got the analytics.
That's right.
It's really all there. And even even when it is all there, it's still hard to gauge sometimes too.
Correct,
right?
absolutely,
So,
yeah.
Obviously, everyone needs marketing. Good marketing sells, and of course, it's all about keeping pricing fair for homeowners, really, because
Yeah, absolutely.
it's an expensive task to sell a house.
It's a big undertaking. So that time that you had as an agent, what would you say were your key, measures of success? What was your standout features?
So I never sold, but yeah, I think customer service, because that's what I did.
Yes.
We're still really high on customer service with the business we're in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hence why I'm not training. We might dive into that a bit later on, but I'm literally recording personalised videos right here, right now. I've just finished before this podcast, and I'm the founder of the business, and I'm the guy writing personalised video messages and recording them, saying g'day.
Yeah,
trying to put that
absolutely.
human touch on a digital marketing platform, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
We are real people behind the scenes. If we could talk to everyone, I wish we could, but
Yeah.
you just got to do your best.
You've always remained really humble, and obviously we'll chat through, but the growth of your business is through the roof. And I said to you just off air before we started that even though you've got over 200,000 customers, which the mind just boggles, for an amazing Sunshine Coast based company, and don't worry, I will give you the accolades you deserve, because I know you are super humble. But
thank you.
honestly, to still have that personal connection, I know you come and do training with our team, and even your time today, I really appreciate it.
I'm just grateful to be in the position I'm in, Amy.
Yeah.
I loved my job, being a real estate agent. Obviously, I wanted to start a family.
Yes.
And, I felt like I was in the rat race. So I'm
Yeah.
glad I've sort of unlocked that, doing what I love and almost paving the way like no one had done before. So that's what I like the most, I think.
Yeah. So from real estate straight into photography?
Yeah, so yes and no. I'm just trying to work it back now. But
See, once you get over 40, Brad, that's it.
It's hard. So pretty much, I worked in real estate, worked for Mark. It was a great experience. It's really helped another stepping stone in what I'm doing today.
Yeah, absolutely.
My dad had many businesses. Probably the funnest one I did, I worked for, he had an import yard. So I'm into all my fast cars, especially the Japanese stuff. So he had a wrecking yard where back then we'd import motors for like cars, like your cars and trucks and four-wheel drives and all that.
Okay.
And he had a full performance side, which we opened up. And
Was that here on the
It
coast?
was here on the coast, Cumber
Yeah,
Park.
epic. Yeah, awesome.
So I used to unpack containers, 40 foots from Japan, with forklifts. So I'd cut cars in half, all that sort of stuff. I'm not a mechanically minded dude, but I
Yes.
just can appreciate it all.
Yeah, awesome.
Just love going fast.
Yeah, a shared passion that we have. We do like our cars.
And really from there, I was working for Dad, so I had a guaranteed job, and I was really trying to build my photography, section up. So
Yeah, absolutely.
there was a good few years there, and we built a really good sort of. I branched off and did a really good high performance Subaru business.
Okay.
Where we're getting parts where no one else could get. Straight from Japan.
How did you source those?
Dad had his contacts.
Yeah, awesome. So
Yeah.
relationships,
100%.
Yeah,
so once
amazing.
again, relationships, customer service, just
doing
I suppose
what you say you're going to do.
100%.
Yeah.
That sort of dad, and that's probably something he's taught me as well.
Yeah, amazing.
So really, it was between that and obviously that sort of dad ended up selling the business, and then at that sort of same time, I'd built up enough where I could just go out on my own and just be a photographer.
Huge
Which I
step.
was. And yeah, it was, because you're sort of wondering, I've got jobs this week, but what's happening next week? You just have that worry.
Absolutely, that's exactly right. And you were married at that stage?
No, single. Probably, just sort of running amok here on the Sunshine Coast.
Partying at Fridays?
And the rest.
Yes.
Don't forget 240.
240V, yeah.
And all the rest. But I bought a house in Nambour. So obviously, was trying to do the responsible thing. But yeah, it's just that unknown. You just don't know what's around the corner.
It's so courageous. I love people's tenacity in doing that, and it does come down to a lot of self-belief, but bloody hard work, I would imagine, as well.
And the population wasn't as big as what it is
course.
now. So there was less competition in what I was doing, but it's just that you're a young adult, and there's so many unknowns when you've never run your own business or anything like that. I never had staff my whole career.
Yeah, that was real estate photography specifically, or did you kind of
100%.
do a little bit of everything?
I just did real estate photography.
And would you suggest that was something that obviously continued on? But do you think
I
that
love
that's having
the
that
gig.
niche?
It always helps.
Yeah, of course.
Back then, every man and his dog's sister is a real estate photographer.
Yeah.
It's quite a big thing.
Yeah.
Charging, big money for it now. Back then, I was just, as I said, just a humble bloke. Really enjoyed my job. I love real estate. I love the Sunshine Coast. Look at today. It's a beautiful day.
It's cracking, isn't it? Yeah.
And I used to love nothing more than pulling up, shooting between 4 and 9 houses a day. I used to do.
Yep.
And just checking out real estate.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It was really, really cool.
Something that gets under your skin with it, isn't there?
Oh, I just love it. I love the architecture. I love, different, just everything about homes. It's cool in different spots, and every home has something unique to offer.
I think that's, probably the magic that you see in photography, and I've certainly, seen you in action, but also just your ability. You are an attention to detail person. I know even when we were setting up today.
Can't help myself.
Hey, it's a good quality to have.
Yeah.
I think that, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And I know you're fastidious, anytime we've done a shoot, always looking at where is the light coming from, making sure all the lights are on.
And just, things like, obviously now it's pretty standard, but just like cushions and are the chairs all, pushed in the right way? Are the taps facing the right way? It just, I can probably blame my mother for that.
Look, I'm not dissimilar myself, although I haven't mastered putting my clothes away, much to my husband's disgust. That's the one thing.
I'm still guilty of that.
Yeah, we got to have one thing. So you were able to, I guess, work with agents on the coast to take that, worry off their hands as far as the photography. You were delivering the results on time. They were getting properties sold.
Definitely. And I think back when I was film days, it was all about education. What do I need photography? What do I need a pro photographer when I can just do it myself?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now it's kind of going back that way again, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just wound down the window at an agent today when I was grabbing a quick boost juice and with a family, and I'm like, we're just chatting to him, and he's about to try a new app, which is great, Snap, which we'll probably talk about later. But he said, I'm just sort of sick of playing back and forth with photographers when I can shoot results off my phone that look as good. So... well, technology has evolved just exponentially. I mean, you probably don't know, my first role when I was 14 in pharmacy was actually managing our photographics counter. Right. So this was in Beerwar here on the coast. We didn't do the processing, but we would pop it in a bag. It'd go off to Brisbane. It'd come back the next day. Right. And then, that evolved too. So I was ordering film, and then that evolved to selling digital cameras. And I think then was like 16, and wouldn't have been meg. I don't know. Maybe it was the memory card. So it was like 10 photos, and then that was done. And then they got bigger. And I think it was like $1 per meg, or I don't even know how the ratio goes with what we're shooting now. It's just, megapixels keep getting bigger. Yes. And, so does the quality from digital cameras. But, I think Sony released a good statement probably roughly 2 years ago saying in 3 years the DSLR will be killed off because of smartphones. Yeah. The cameras are getting good. And I remember the first day I saw the iPhone 11 with a wide-angle lens. That's when I'm like, man, we need to look back into this app and just have another option for people, because as we spoke earlier, selling a home is a very expensive ordeal. Sure. So you just need cost-effective ways to sell your biggest asset, I always say. Absolutely. All right, let's go back to the journey of Box Brownie, because it is so it's such a lovely story. It's something I am so proud of you and Mel for what you've achieved. Honestly, it's incredible, and I know you are super humble, but I am going to get you to get a bit deep. But, let's chat about, you said to me off air about registering the domain and... Yeah. So obviously it's been a bit of a dream. We are in Caloundra at the moment, just so the viewers know. The name boxbrownie.com, it was completely my it was the name I wanted. Yeah, tell us about why. Well, the reason is there's one reason why. I remember lugging all my big camera gear up, which is always on a backpack because it was easier to have all my cameras in that, and my tripod. And I remember it was a property management listing, I remember, but it was vacant. And I was with the agent, and we'd walked up, let's call it 5 or 6 flight of stairs, because it was somewhere in Kings Beach. I knew you'd say that. So I know those stairs. So there were stairs there. I can't remember the actual physical spot. I could probably find it if we went for a drive. But and I remember when we got up there, and I'm flicking on my lights, doing preparing the house as you spoke about. And I remember the agent saying, like, still to this day, oh gosh. We're certainly not shooting on the old Brownie cameras, are we? Yeah. So since that was it.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
It didn't click then, but later on it clicked.
Yeah, absolutely.
The domain wasn't available. I remember I had to actually pay $3,500 for it.
That's huge, Brad.
A lot of money.
10 plus years ago.
Oh, I'd almost call it close to 13.
Yeah, incredible.
I didn't have the money, or I did it. I was always really good with my tax. So I'd always make sure I put my tax and GST in a separate folder. I never spent it.
Yeah, well done. That's big.
And my accountant always said, Brad, no one really does that. So well done. But I'm like, hey, I'm a photographer. If I've got to pay this monay back, I'm all by the books, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just do one thing, do it right.
Correct.
So I did all that, but I could always spend that money on, let's call it business expenses. So if I needed a laptop or another camera lens, I'd use that money, and I was always fine my whole career. So I used that money for it. And here we are today.
Yeah, amazing. So did you have to buy it off someone else?
So I had to buy it off a domain reseller.
Okay.
So it was all legit. It didn't look dodgy to me. I didn't even know what I was doing.
Yeah.
But I bought it.
Yeah, amazing.
And there was another website I bought. We have let it lapse since. Someone has swooped it up. But look, we're too busy to worry about that sort of stuff.
You've got enough going on. So then Mel joined?
Mel, yeah. So I built a working prototype.
Awesome.
The reason how that happened is I told someone about the idea and they didn't think it was going to work that well. And I was like, cool, I'm going to follow my heart. I won't say who that was.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
all good.
But
don't you need that in life though?
No, it was more just just follow your heart, Amy. Don't listen to the noise.
Totally. But I tell you what, I remember having a comment when I moved into my role, and I thought at the time it really stung, but I tell you what, it was the fuel that gave me to where I am.
You got to rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing good is easy, right?
I couldn't agree more.
Or thereabouts, as they say. But I started. I just acted is the best way to put it.
Amazing.
And I'll tell you how I did that. It's all relative to being on site and being a photographer. So once again, it was actually a property management listing. Mm-hmm. Got chatting to the guy, had this idea in my head. People told me it wasn't going to work. I was like, well, I need it myself.
Yes.
So that's why I want to try this. I love my job, but I need to change. So I shot the property. I got chatting to the tenant. We were talking about moving things before. I'm very courteous. Hey,
yes.
Look, the photos will reflect me. Do you mind if I just move this and this? You feel awkward doing it.
Yeah, of course.
No one bloody wants to do it. But,
toothbrushes is the worst for me.
Oh, dirty undies. Dirty undies when they didn't have hand sanitizer invented then.
Yeah, I could have gone a bit deeper too.
Yeah, so could have I, but you get where I'm going. And look, I did all that and I got chatted to the guy. He's a web designer. Mm-hmm. So I just acted. And I said, let's go. So this website was really good. This particular website actually picked up Stockland a few years later.
Amazing.
Which is pretty cool.
That's huge.
And it linked to Dropbox. It wasn't automated. It worked. It was a business. Mm-hmm. So it didn't break any records, especially back then, but it worked and it was the start of the journey.
Incredible. Served its purpose.
So I just think, if anyone listening, if you got an idea, people telling you it's not going to work and, something in your heart's telling you just to go for it.
Well, you found a gap, didn't you? And I think that's the thing, when you come from an industry, you see what's missing, you see an opportunity. And I think that's, very much a premise of this podcast is really about demonstrating the behind the scenes of the industry, but also your business as well. I guess dispelling myths and showcasing that hard work does pay off. But
not all the time, unfortunately.
No, that's true.
And then that's what I say to people. I'm like, it's really sad. People can work so hard their whole life and just not get ahead.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think, but that's probably one thing I'd like to post, but just have a go.
Absolutely.
Just have a go.
Yeah.
And make sure you surround yourself with good people. I think that's a big thing. Like you can't get further in life by, maybe sort of, you got to expand your circle a little bit.
Chat through that because I think that's an absolute strength of yours.
Yeah, look, I probably call me a bit of an introvert. I'm loud. I seem like I'm bubbly, but deep down, I'm just a dude from the sunny coast.
Yeah.
But now, when you're forced in the deep end, you just got to tread water, and you just got to. I think you just got to be yourself.
Totally, I think that's the thing.
Whether people like you or not, it's just no BS. You know what I mean? And it's easier to tell the truth and remember what you lied about.
Absolutely.
I just think that, and that's how I've always come across. That's how I've always been brought up as a kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do as you say, as you spoke about before, and if you're wrong, just put your hand up and go, stuff that up.
Yeah, and ask for help. That's probably one of my biggest life lessons was just to be able to go, hey, and learn from people that are better than you. That's amazing.
I always take advice from anyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm know it all, far from it. And I don't think anyone ever is, but you've just got to listen to all the advice that you're given and almost like just mould your own path. I think that's probably what I've tried to do.
And I think too, you just said about expanding your circle as well, because really there is so much to learn from all different, people's backgrounds, age, sex, race, and especially with your experience and traveling the world.
Culture.
Absolutely.
Oof.
Yeah, there's just so much to be, I think life is an ongoing learning. So have a chat. Let's chat about how Box Brownie came about, the founding partners.
Well, look, I think Box Brownie really came apart. Like I was ready to pack photography in. And I remember you'll like this because of all the travel I've done. I said to my wife, I had a couple of mates who'd gone to WA, Western Australia, to work in the mines, and obviously good money there. My goal back then was to do that, just to give up photography before this idea sparked, and this is actually all part of it. And I remember saying to my wife, I want to do this, and she's a hairdresser and she had a couple of clients. And you know what she said? She goes, no long-distance relationship.
Wow.
I don't think it'll work because I've got clients who have done that and the families are broken up.
Yeah.
And obviously my idea was I've got no expertise anywhere else except with real estate marketing, if you want to call it that. And that sort of hit me. And I remember sitting down once and I got an email. You get pestered by Indian editors, if you want to call it that, if you're a photographer. Still to this day, they email me.
Yeah, okay.
And, I
I do get them on Instagram as well, asking advice. Yeah.
Everywhere. So one day you get pestered and trying to say it nicely. I don't mean no disrespect.
Yeah, of course.
And it's like, it's pretty bad, but they're hustlers and you can appreciate that, right?
Totally, that's right. And volume, I think, like you get 10,000 no's and maybe one yes.
Oh, 100%,
yes.
right? So they're just doing their best, which is great. So, and I remember one time I was already using them, and before Box Brownie, I tried hundreds of them, and they were terrible.
So this was editing photos, is that?
Yeah, so this is it. Yeah, when you're a photographer, if you've got a website, you'll get offshore people trying to contact you to do your editing.
Yeah, perfect.
Because as a photographer, you make more money on site doing more shoots.
Yeah, correct.
The editing's almost like the graveyard shift. Like,
yes.
I've got to edit nine houses now. You're up till midnight.
Yes. Yeah, you want it back tomorrow, right?
To get the photos back yesterday, I used to say, but you get the photos back tomorrow to the agents and then do it all again.
Correct.
It's just like that was the rhythm I was in for years, and the amount of computers I blew up just from working them was crazy. Like I went through heaps.
Have you met a computer that's as fast as you yet?
No, probably Mel's server at an office, I reckon.
Yeah.
But like it really started from there, and I remember being contacted by an editor, and it was a price difference, and I was like, penny dropped.
Yeah.
With what my wife said and that, I was like, so now I'm only doing that. At first, I was paying $5 a photo to edit it.
Yeah.
Then it dropped down to $3, and then eventually, it sort of goes from there. But now we're charging $2 a photo to give
incredible.
You an idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we will drop our prices as we scale up. That is proven with our business. So we're like nothing else really out there. There's no subscriptions, no monthly fees. We just try and be the fair guys in the industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agents come and go. There's 30% less agents now in America. So no one wants a subscription to pay for something they're not using. So that's always been our model. But that's really where it came from, was that desperation of needing a career change and trying to support my family. I just wanted to pay my house off.
Yeah, amazing.
Because, isn't that the Australian dream or anyone's dream to pay off their family home, right?
Absolutely. And I think that's, we spoke about that as well off air. Like we were just saying, you put that, what you do in 5 years, so you don't have to suffer for 50 years. I mean, I saw, my mum was by herself and paying a mortgage by herself, and you're exactly right. You've got to have that driving force. What are what are you running from and what are you running towards?
I think, as they say, the more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like do the hard yards, and not always, but focus that energy, and a lot of the time it can pay off for you.
And even when it doesn't, Brad, like what a lesson in life. I think with with success, it's an internal success, and it doesn't have to be an outward success. Or like some of my biggest life lessons have come from failures or mistakes, or like you said, that ability to put your hand up and ask for help.
I think too, it's like, I know it's hard to say at the time, but somehow you've always got to find a positive from a negative. You know what I mean? And even if it's not right, I think it's a mentality thing.
Absolutely.
You know, you've sort of got to get comfortable doing the things you're uncomfortable at.
Yeah,
you know,
it's so,
like you
so
just
true.
have to do it. Like,
flex the muscle, the tough ones. Yeah.
You know, it's like going to the gym and doing your bicep curls or whatever you do. Like, I think it's just consistency, you know what I mean?
Correct,
and just try and keep it real.
Absolutely. I think that's so important. So you had your overseas editors, $5 a photo, giving you your nighttime back.
Yeah. Well, it gave me that time with the family.
Yeah.
Or it gave me that personal time back, right?
Yep.
It's always important, you know, as a photographer. Yeah, that was always, you know, it was just hard because you're literally shooting all day. And editing all night, like that's the rhythm. Unless you outsource, I know there's a lot of photographers who still enjoy the editing, and I kind of cringe at that, going, "Oh, come chat to me when things change," because it always does. But
of course.
But look, I used to love the editing too. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, absolutely.
But back then, when I was editing, there was no YouTube channels on how to do it.
I was going to say,
there was only deep forums. You had to sort of go in, and it's just different. It's like everything's different now.
So evolved.
Jump online and learn how to do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's right. And all of the apps and programs and I guess self-editing. So then, chat about how I want you to share about Mel and you coming together.
Yeah,
Mel
Mel was my third time lucky at building the system, which I like in itself too. You know what I mean? I had two knockdowns, and then I met Mel, and we were just engaging him at the start to build it. When you're in any technology business, let alone property technology, you need someone who can code, right? Pretty fun fact, I actually grew up in a back shed with my grandpa. And he used to run the MS-DOS on floppy disk drives, and we used to go to computer swap meets, I remember, in Melbourne on gravel roads, and so he'd be looking down going, wow. So
that's epic.
He used to code back then.
Yeah, wow.
Fun fact, my uncle just moved up from Melbourne recently. He told me that my pa and his mate, they used to have massive satellite dishes.
Yeah.
They created the first Zoom they knew about back then. He didn't say Zoom, but my uncle said it was video messaging and they could talk to each other. And I'm talking back in the day.
How epic
And I never
is that?
knew about that.
That's so cool.
That's kind of where I came from, I guess, and it's cool to see where it came today.
That's awesome. My dad he had a really big fascination with computers and would build them, and that was early 90s. So same thing, I can remember him doing that. And Flight Simulator, like all those kind of...
Yeah. Well, speaking of flight simulators, my wife's grandfather, he was one of the people who invented it.
Oh, there you go.
As well as certain bits with the runway lights.
Wow, funny
and then
mentioning
my
that.
grandpa was actually in aviation as well, like in some of the wars. So it's kind of like...
Full circle.
It's funny how life just twists you and...
That's amazing. So you knew that coding component was so important.
You know, I didn't really know what... Look, we all know what coding is, kind of.
Yes. But you need a genius,
back
right?
Then, and back then I just didn't know what I needed. I was just following my spirit, I guess you'd say, or following the heart. Like it's like how... But you need someone who can do websites, and coding is part of that, of course. And, yeah, we've been business partners now for... And I always go off Christmases. I'm bad with dates, but at least 8 years, maybe not, coming into 9. And we just haven't looked back. Like, realistically, I think I needed the two knockbacks or the two failures to gain his interest.
Yeah.
I think if I'd have went to him from the start, it couldn't have worked out the way it did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, Mel was building... I love motorbikes.
Yes.
I remember walking there and he's building like Travis Pastrana's Nitro Circus online shop. I'm like, dude, this is so sick.
Amazing.
I love motorbikes.
Yeah. And I knew him when I worked at the Chamber of Commerce.
That
as
too.
Well. Yeah.
You know, so...
was he is it still correct that he's the youngest person to go to uni?
Yeah, he probably hates me saying that.
I love it.
I think it's cool. Like, we're like yin and yang.
I know. I love
it. I got the OP24 and he's probably... Yeah, he was, like, to my knowledge, when I met him, he's the youngest person to be accepted into university in Australia.
Yeah, incredible.
For mathematics.
Yes.
I think he was accepted at age 12.
Yeah,
and
amazing.
He couldn't go until he was 14.
It's incredible.
And I think, that just shows how different we are. But I think opposites attract, right?
And what commonalities would you have? Like, what would you suggest to the anchoring? I'm guessing probably values.
Just doing what we say.
Yeah, amazing.
We haven't had one argument.
Yeah,
Not one. And it's just like, just do as you say.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah, it really is.
I could say something else, but I won't say it on air.
We'll save that for after. But that's incredible. That speaks volumes for who you both are as people.
I think, just be a hard worker and just be honest and, just all that. But I think every situation's different.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, I like it that we did a third time lucky. I still remember when I had to pay him quite a substantial amount of money when we weren't business partners, and I'm like, damn, here we go again.
Yeah.
I didn't even tell the wife. I was just going for it.
And did you believed in the value though? I was
scared shit, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then during that time, we had to buy another business partner. I had to refinance the house.
Yeah.
It was a good few $100,000, and we'll be lucky to be making $1,000 a month back then.
Well, we spoke about that, didn't we? The years of no income. Like that's the grind that people don't see.
And the refinancing a house when we're having our first kid.
Yeah.
The stress, the worry.
Yeah.
Totally put it on the line.
Yeah.
And, people said I was crazy at the time. I'm running around like a headless chook. I'm doing photo shoots. I'm getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning. We didn't, we've got that rework button.
Yes, yeah.
We never had one back in the day. So I was the rework button.
Yeah,
so I'd be up at 3 o'clock, fixing all the crap from the night before, stressed out. I do kickboxing, which keeps my head straight. Yeah. It really grounds you, of course, any sort of martial arts.
Muay Thai, is it?
Yeah, Muay Thai. Yeah. My brother was Australian champion. We're very heavily tied up in the scene, especially Dad. But, and it just sets you up for the day. So I train in the morning, a mixture between photo shoots, going into the office, answering phones, fixing the issues. I did all that. And this is for, no pay, just keep putting money into tech. Yeah, it's crazy when you look back at it.
It sure is. And, crazy in a good way. I mean, now we can reflect and look back. I mean, it's when you're in that hustle and grind, isn't it? But there's something.
You just focus on your, it's like I didn't listen to any noise outside. I just knew where I was hoping I was going.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? That was my star, I guess, and that's what I was aiming for.
Absolutely. And I guess you for the detractors and those people that sort of questioned, you would have had a lot of bloody good supporters behind you as well, I bet.
Yeah, I think I just stuck in, just got into it.
Yeah.
I wasn't, I was just working.
Yeah,
grinding,
absolutely.
seeing a few bits and pieces here and there. I was just working.
Yeah. So with that comes sacrifice. So obviously, I know we'll chat about, that time that you missed with the family, but, it would have been the same as well. I imagine in those years when you're grinding hard, friends still partying and.
All that, but then, I'm overseas partying.
Yeah.
No one's ever seen,
I know you like tequila.
Yeah, like you're in VIP parties inside VIP parties, that speakeasy style, the people we rub shoulders with are like the titans of the industry, and everything's free over there, whether we're paying for it. Which the first conference we went to, we couldn't even afford to go as a company.
Yes,
I remember sort of slapping my credit card for the drinks bills, and drinks aren't cheap in America. You know
I know that. Yeah.
But look, it's unfortunately,
you have to do it to get.
I'm a big drinker when I want to be, but I don't love it that much.
Well, it's a social aspect.
Well, that's what it is, Amy, to be honest.
And connecting and networking. Like you're an incredibly smart business operator. You know what the foundation of a good business is: connection. Like I said, doing something better than everyone else,
and just treating people like our clients are our friends. They become really good friends, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
But you've got to build that net. You got to build that in the first place. And
correct.
They'll see at the booth. We're always our motto was first at the booth, last to leave.
Yeah.
And that's still to this day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we don't sit down. We don't have chairs when we're at the booth. We're always ready to go.
Yeah,
I
know.
That's like a rule.
I know. I remember we caught up, didn't we, at ARIC? Was it last year? And I was like, we went to say hello, and then you were straight on. You were like, oh, I've got to get, and I love that. And I'm not.
Those conferences aren't cheap.
Mate, you got to get that ROI.
Yep.
But I understand that, and I think that's really important. So let's just for those, because there will be people that are listening in that actually don't know what you offer, and I think it'd be remiss of me not to allow you the opportunity just to go really deep into each aspect, and then let's have a chat through, because obviously I've probably utilised every aspect. I'm always been an early adopter, always one to try and break a system, but also to jump on board, because I know that every service that you offer is incredibly vital in the sales process, but also for our clients.
And it depends the house, right? That's why we didn't want subscription. So
was that sort of something that was an option?
Day one. No, day one. It was never an option.
But isn't it interesting too how much we've moved away from subscription models? When we
did it, everyone's like, you have to have it. We have early VC, venture capitalists. You have to have it. You have to move to Sydney to make this work. If you want to be global, you've got to change the name.
Yeah, wow.
I was just like,
Isn't that amazing for everyone that is listening in? There was a little middle finger there, but you stuck to
in
your
a nice
guns.
way, you know
Of
what I
course,
mean?
no, but agreed because you have to
Follow your own heart.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, isn't that funny though? Again, how people think they know the right thing when ultimately you've been so in depth and you know what people are looking for.
I just think, well, look, I suppose, boxbrownie.com, we are at the moment the world's leading real estate photo editing website.
Incredible.
So think Photoshop on a menu.
I love it.
We just went to, we just got our coffees from,
Yes.
off a menu.
Yes.
Everything has a preset price.
Love that.
The price you see is the price you pay. There's no hidden taxes, unlike many other countries out there.
Yeah.
We have 24/7 customer support in 4 different languages, 365 days a year. So that's English, Spanish, Japanese, and French.
And they are always available. I tell you,
Always available.
I'm running edits at, I think literally after midnight last night. I was chatting to Pooja and having amazing customer service.
So behind the scenes, we have 400 staff.
Yeah, it's amazing.
In 19 countries.
Incredible.
That includes obviously all of our beautiful customer service team,
Yes.
management, all that. Mel and myself and everyone else who runs the business day to day.
Including editing?
No.
Yeah.
That's coming.
Sorry, I'll zip now.
No, that's okay. So that just makes the website operate.
Amazing.
As do our editors. So that's our beautiful staff. That's our Box Brownie family. Now we have over 2,000 editing teams. So one team could be a solo operator. One could have 200-300 staff plus. So that's a lot of mouths to feed. And we're 100% bootstrapped or a self-funded business where in our scale of where we are, so you just said earlier, we have just shy of 200,000 clients right now, self-funded, and we have paying clients in 117 countries.
It's incredible.
As for sign-ups, we've had, I checked about a year ago, we had a whole world in sign-ups except 2 countries.
Can't wait. Tell me.
So I can't remember that.
You're going to find out now.
Yeah, look, I will. I'll actually ask Mel and flick it to
amazing?
you.
So how do you get? We'll go back to the products because that's a really important thing. How do you get that scale? Like, how do you get to
word of and you know how much we used to travel, right? We spend hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars worth per year on travel expenses,
face
flights.
to face.
We're flying to New York and staying right on Times Square at the Hyatt. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Proud to say we've done some very pimping stuff. I wish we had a video crew follow us on that journey. It would have been the best, the craziest story, I think, ever.
Absolutely. You've definitely got a book or a doco in you, that's for sure.
But even just the people we rub shoulders with and, one of my best mates, he's the number 1 agent at Remax in the world.
It's amazing.
Another guy, he sold $5 billion worth of property. Like, these are the people we're rubbing shoulders, private jets, this and all that. But at the end of the day, it's word of mouth.
Totally.
Is still our highest form of advertising.
So advocates within the industry, is that?
Oh, no, it's more like anyone.
Yeah.
It could be someone from your office loves what we do.
Yeah, that's right.
And they'll tell a friend.
Yeah, correct.
You know what I mean? Or yourself doing a great podcast and someone will listen to it and you're still telling a friend by doing this.
Correct.
Which we're grateful for. So, so like...
blogs as well. I know,
all of that stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You've always just diversified and always made sure that you're ever present in front of the people that are your consumers.
We're doing blog or vlogs, if you want to call it that, where I'm teaching photography training and literally, we film it all in house. And I'm used to being behind the camera, not in front of the camera.
Oh, you
know
nail it.
No, I know.
But we've done a few together.
But if you saw the early ones, they're pretty cringeworthy.
Don't worry, I did an intro for a video a while ago, and there was 15 outtakes, and I just felt so embarrassed for the videographer.
It's like you get comfortable eventually, right?
Funny with the video vlogs because I'd never forget your shooting a property in how many seconds? 59 seconds or something?
7 minutes.
Oh, 7 minutes.
Got a lot of haters, that one.
Yeah, chat about. We've spoken about that before.
I don't read it.
Yeah.
So
don't chat about the haters. Tell us about that.
No, you get a lot of anything on social media, whether you're an influencer or just posting or you've got videos, you have people. we'll call them trolls because that's what everyone knows about.
Yeah.
I don't read it.
No, it's...
And you know what? I can guarantee you they would never say it to my face.
Correct. That's exactly right. Look, I think as well too, it's, I always say those that are beneath you, what do I say? Those that are trying to pull you down are already beneath you. And really it's not an accident that your number plate's disruptor, isn't it?
I got a few. Well, disruptor, everyone calls us a digital disruptor.
Yeah.
So I've got that.
Yeah.
I got founder.
Yep.
I've got scale up on a big ute that I have because we're a scale up business now, not a startup.
Yeah,
so
amazing.
I've bought a lot of prop tech number plates because I'm very passionate about
absolutely.
really I suppose, pioneering the way, because when we started doing this and traveling the world, there was no other business. Like prop tech, property technology, that's the abbreviation for it. It wasn't really a thing.
No, that's right.
Now it's just hundreds of companies. And, when you're an Aussie company and got the flair kind of we have, there's a reason why I think people never forgot us.
Yeah,
and I think we worked so hard up until COVID where we couldn't travel anyway. No one forgot us.
Oh, look, and I think that's the really important thing because you've done it that many times, and I think that is that repetition of marketing. But like I said, it's also about the delivery of product. You never hesitated to jump on, if there's been, we will share this funny edit, won't we? You don't mind if I share that?
No,
I love it.
Explain why, though.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So a product, because we will talk about the products on offer. One is we get our drone photographs. They are amazingly well edited.
Aerial editing and drop pin options to show local landmarks.
Thank you. Essentially, we had a jetty, and I gave a mock-up. Now, I put the line in the wrong spot.
So the mock-up would be you draw on a duplicate image where you want the local attraction. So obviously an aerial photo can say 1,000 words. Obviously, that one photo can show the whole area. So the beach is here,
proximity
the shopping centre's here,
exactly.
the school's here, all that sort of stuff. So if you're an interstate international buyer,
correct.
Hey, there's the house circled.
Yeah.
That's all the stuff that's around it.
Yeah, and I laugh because you would laugh at me because I'm still doing those in Paint. Like I'm still in MS Paint editing, dropping them in.
I think we've got a markup tool now on the website.
You do? Thank you. Thanks, Brad. I will move to that. Yeah, honestly. Time and efficiency.
I thought you were a early adapter.
Anyway, so stupid me didn't put the bloody the pointer mark down to the actual jetty. So when I wrote military jetty and then asked them to put the pointer on the actual jetty, they said actual jetty, which the irony is not lost on me. But anyway, we had a laugh. And you know what? You
got that cool rework button, haven't you? So what we didn't have back then.
Mate, it was fixed back straight away. But yeah, some of the awesome products, and I'll chat through, if you don't mind, some of the things that I've used and what I love. So,
what do you use, and maybe give the viewers the benefits of it could be cool. And
so I guess the most, I'd suggest the product that you're most famous for, or I guess most used by the people I know, is the digital declutter.
Right. So yes, virtual staging is what we're best known for.
Wow.
Because we actually do the most in the world, which is pretty crazy.
It's epic. So to get to virtual staging, you need to remove the item. So the item removal tool. Well, come on, man, you're killing me. Anyway, back to what I was saying is that the item removal, so the reason that has been so powerful in our business is about people's privacy, removing personal items.
Tenants.
Definitely. Digital declutter. I mean, I've had team members that have spent a whole day removing personal effects.
If you drop something and break it.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Marking
that dropped
walls.
Heirloom, exactly. Here in Australia, $10 to have that whole thing done. I can't tell you the relief that is in an appraisal when I sit with the client and say, you don't have to worry about that. We'll get that done. Virtual, so definitely the virtual staging. So I just did an amazing one. So studio space, so multi-purpose studio space. So it's currently set up with a lounge and a work from home space. And then what we did, and you'll love this because this is something we worked on together, is then we had that removed and then we had it set up as a one-bedroom apartment, and then we print that on a canvas and then have that at an easel at the property. So I know we've done vlogs around that. I'd suggest that's probably just that next level. So certainly the reason for that, and I guess it's important to explain the rationale why, is that when somebody sees a virtual styled image online, sometimes there's a little bit of pushback. They come to a vacant home or it's felt a little bit misleading. They can't visualise a vacant space. So essentially the reason why I found that the easel worked really well is they could then visualise it. But it also maintained that level of trust, and
100%. I suppose, and it was a good tip back in the day. I believe that I sort of
I think we
told you
did that about,
it. We did a video on it, which is great.
About 4 years ago or something.
And that was what our customers would always say. That was the feedback. They're like, we do the art easel trick. We were learning from our customers by being on site at these conferences. And I do remember that we'd shared that, and it works great because you're being transparent.
Totally, that's right.
A lot of people.
Thanks, Brad, for the idea.
No, my absolute pleasure. And this is what we do.
Absolutely.
It's all about giving back.
And just
not everyone acts, Amy, like you do. That's, you tell people, you tell 10 people, maybe one will do it.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think a lot of people will have the vacant image online and then have the virtual staging and have a disclaimer on it. Some people will just have the virtual staging and then do the art easel trick. There's a few ways to bake the cake is what I always say. But
correct.
I think it's always easy to be transparent online, and then when they get there and meet you, Amy, they're already trusting you better.
Correct. That's exactly right. And I think, it's a really good thing, isn't it, to chat about the misleading. There's definitely a lot out there. So it's always about maintaining integrity.
Oh, and it's even like, artificial intelligence. It's out there now.
Absolutely.
It's good. It's going to get great.
Yep.
But at the moment, it's skewing the furniture. It's not adding, the shadowing from the window sources. If you've got multiple angles of the same room in photos, it doesn't do that yet.
Yes.
You can tell it's a bit plastic.
Yeah.
It will get better.
Yeah.
Much like the sky replacement. The AI can do bits and pieces of what we're doing, of course. When it's good enough, I know we're going to be implementing it.
Yes.
At the moment, like let's say if you do a sky replacement and they go over the power lines and the antenna, you can get in trouble for that.
That's a big fine. That's a huge one. Absolutely.
And, when we're doing hand tune editing and...
What does that mean?
I suppose real humans doing the Photoshop, if that makes sense. It's not everything we do is not AI except for our property descriptions, which we'll get into later.
Yeah, sure.
But all of our editing is done by real people. And I've just got off this training, but I've been training people the last 3 years. I've ran a team of 30 where we secret shop our editors. No extra cost to you.
Yes.
You might not even know we did this, but I ran a team and we rate our images from 1 to 5, all of our top edits.
Yeah.
I'm looking for things like what we just spoke about, or is the furniture got enough shadowing, or is that item removal, is that line of the tile straight enough?
Yeah.
These are what we're looking at behind the scenes that you don't even know about. So we're only, with the rating system, only our good editors get the work, the bad ones get suspension, which means you as the client, Amy, get the best result. You don't even realise that's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess that's great feedback for you as a end user, as well as because I have sometimes had like a quality controller will come back and say, hey, we can do a little bit better.
Yeah, yes, there you go.
And I love that. And so it's all those things. But I think it's also that ability, like you said, I mean, there's never any hesitation, I'll pop in and give any feedback or change, and generally it's, it could be an error on my behalf, like our actual Jetty.
Oh, and I think too, like, it's a new system. What we're doing, no one's done it before, still to this date. Everything's custom.
Yep.
Us as business owners, we feel like we're building the system for you the best way we can, but who's saying that we're doing it right?
Yeah.
But, and sometimes it can be our editors, sometimes it can be, clients submitting wrong or not understanding, there's options, but that's like any business. That's why it's great to have customer service always available and always listen to every problem, whether it's good or bad, and just get to the bottom of it.
We've just evolved so much. So what I love is that, we've been able to do sort of agency templates and everything's pre-formatted. It's evolved and grown so much. And I love that. So some other things that we do are 3D renders. So
yes.
I knew you'd like me to talk about that.
I suppose, and people who don't know what a render is, it's an artist impression, or think a photo of a building or development that's not built yet.
Yeah.
You'll usually see them on vacant blocks of land and on signboards, or sometimes on the fence they have that nice mesh they print on.
Yeah, that's what we worked with on a vacant land in Mumbai.
Yeah, it's a really, really good aspect. So you've got a block of land, you want to put a house on it or a massive commercial factory or whatever that is, shopping centre. We can superimpose that so you can visualise what's going to get built, off the plan sales. That's how builders and developers do it. We also do the 360-degree render virtual tours. So you can almost scan a QR code and literally walk through the property like it's CGI, and That's what snagged us, America's largest home builder, D.R. Horton, because we did that and everything else we offer. Which
Amazing.
At
a low cost option as well.
Has to be low cost.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's really what we're all about.
Yeah. So, and then let's definitely get into Snap, because we'll do that. But before we go there, I also love the 360 virtual tour.
And you're just saying off air, the office bought a camera.
Yep.
Didn't use it.
Yep.
You knew it was there.
Yep.
Once again, you just acted, Amy. So it's a credit to yourself.
Oh, it's just amazing to have that opportunity. And I guess, we were really fortunate to have you do a training session. I then forgot half of it, didn't I?
We've got blogs on that.
I know.
Obviously, you're local. We've got the.
You did give me training before as well.
Yeah, hey, any excuse to catch up. I'm good. I love.
We got there.
You can't lock me in an office forever. Yeah. I like being outside, and but
it was a beautiful property to shoot as well. But look, we've since gone on, and I just shared with you that within the first day of a property going live, I had 40 views of that, and what just to explain to our listeners, that allows the user to walk through at their own pace,
and they get to walk the areas they want to walk in first.
Correct.
Unlike a video, you're showing them where they want to go.
Correct.
They go, I'm not going to go to the hallway. I'm going to go to the bedroom here first.
I'm going to go up. I'm going to go down.
So they control the experience and
no hidden secrets.
No, and they start at $20. If you've got your own camera, you just do the unedited tours like I told you to.
Yep.
If you want to edit them and have a professional result, it's $5 a photo.
Yep. And virtually styled you can do as well.
We can do all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think for $20 buying price for 15 shots, I believe it is, you can walk through a property.
Yeah,
it costs you $20. It's back overnight. And what I love about virtual tours is you just had 40 people go through that property. Before they call you, you know that they're legitimised.
Correct.
Really.
That's exactly right. It's a pre-qualification.
Yeah, so you're not saving 20 minutes driving there, half an hour inspection, 20 minutes to your next one. You've sort of already got that time back for $20.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. There's obviously lots of conversations for and against with all components of marketing. I mean, for me, it's really about the buyer having a wonderful experience and not taking any, not putting any roadblocks in their place.
Just giving them everything they need to make a decision.
That's exactly right. So it's been a really good asset. And then Snap. So that is, you're excited.
Oh, look, it's Snap is, it's another world first.
Yes.
Much like our 360 renders, the way we offer them. We've had a few world firsts, I guess, for our, for our business, which is great, but it's an iPhone app. The Android version is only a couple of weeks away from being live. So if you are an Android user, let's give everyone who listens to this a free trial.
Amazing.
Look, I'm not scared to give my email out. People say I'm not the average CEO for doing so. I don't care. Brad at boxbrownie.com. If you haven't tried Snap, would love to get you on it. It feels like I'm cheating when I use it.
Yeah.
I know the nuts and bolts of being a real estate photographer. It's my whole knowledge in an app. You just push a button and it does everything. Like it brackets, so it takes multiple photos of the same shot at different light variants. It actually takes up to 70 micro photos behind the scenes.
It's amazing.
It took Mel and our awesome development team about 3 years to hack into the camera algorithm in the Apple. We had 9 cameras to do on that one. Android, we've got over 150.
Wow.
That's why, if that makes sense. Apple only has so many. That's why.
Wow.
It's a true game changer, and everyone says game changer.
It sure is.
I promise that's what it is.
So we just spoke about it. So where I position that in my marketing campaign, so I use it as a coming soon feature. So we will always engage a professional photographer and we'll have them on site and we'll do that as per our brand standards. But speed's so important in this industry, and the opportunity is there to be able to get photos directly to the buyer audience. So we have the ability with realestate.com and also Domain to send sneak peeks out. And obviously we want to build that momentum before the property goes online. So I just gave you an example of a property. So we appraised that on Monday, signed it up on the spot, had the tripod in the car, popped the camera on it. It was quite, you'd laugh at me. It was a pool with a locked gate. And so I put the camera on the other side of the gate and hit it through. But I mean, I think you sort of, guarantee 24-hour return. It was back the same day.
We do. So the app does a few things. It does image enhancement.
Yeah, that's
so
what I
for those that don't know, it's $2 edit
Yes.
here in Australia, $1.60 in the US. It's 17 Photoshop tasks. It's the exact same task. So I used to obviously work for your bosses back in the day, and yourself taking photos. It was the exact same editing sequence, if you want to call it, that I did to all my photos. So bluing the sky, greening the grass, lightening, brightening, contrast, saturation, straightening verticals, because obviously wide angle lenses do that. So it's all that for $2. So the app does that. What else it does your digital declutter or item removal.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It does our day to dusk edit, which is our twilight effect. It looks like a dust shoot.
Yes.
Proven to get 5 times more clicks here in Australia. That's
amazing.
REA stats. And lastly, it does virtual staging off the phone. So that's why it's a total world first for a couple of sections. But the image enhancement, so if you just have a house, it's staged like so many of your properties are. You just go in with your phone and just literally snap, take your shots, pardon the pun. And if you submit those on site, by the time you've walked out the door, it's in the system. The average turnaround time, Mel tells me, is 3 hours.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I've had people get them back in 20 minutes, and I'm like, don't think it's going to be like that every time. Everyone's like, no, we're stoked. Like, we get it.
Well, and I think you really inspired that, to take that step and to go, okay, well, if you're taking a Form 6, so that's the appointment form that we have as real estate agents, if you're taking that to a listing presentation, there's nothing better. And that's literally what I did. How about I do a quick video walkthrough? We'll take some images now out the facade, and then we'll do the, complex facilities. And then, same day you've got that, that would be so vastly different, I'd imagine, to your real estate.
It's so different. Or we even train people, hey, everything you've said is 100% correct. Like, that's usability. Let's say you're going for a listing. What's going to make you stand out? So, like, you could, do the old secret, drive up to the house, snap a shot at the front. You obviously don't want to jump the fence and go at the back or anything. You might look like a stalker. But grab a nice one at the front or a couple of different angles, maybe one of the lifestyle area, the shops down the road or something like that, and do your $2 edits and have those ready to show your owners and go, this is what I've already done for you. But you can go a few steps further. What I would do is take a photo at the front and then do the day to dusk edit. That's $5, a beautiful dusk sunset. We turn the lights on. It looks like you've shot it at night. They're going to be like, how the heck did Amy take a photo of a house so good,
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'd go one step further and go online and see they had a floor plan. And you could just grab the floor plan online, redraw it.
Yeah, that's a great tool that you've got as well.
$35. We redraw any builder's plans, architect's files, or even an old floor plan.
Yes.
And we can put it in your McGrath template, or we have many other templates to choose, or we can create a custom branded template. That way you're going to go up with a dust photo and a floor plan already and go, I'm your marketing agent of your choice because I've already done this, just to show you what I can do being proactive. And then I've got all this whole other range of suites that I can offer you if we need it. And this is what I'm doing. Really just take control and just, put your best foot forward. Yeah,
that's amazing. And look, you've always had such incredible ideas. And yeah, certainly, like I said, I'll jump on board as many of them as I can. Already a few lessons from me.
No, awesome.
So look, the business is going from strength to strength. Obviously, you're aware of, disruptions in the industry, which is awesome, always at the forefront. If you weren't doing what you're doing now, what would you do?
That's a really crazy question. Look, that's a hard one.
I love that because you love what you do, right?
Oh, I just think this is what I had to do.
Yeah, amazing.
I can't answer that. I don't know. Yeah.
And I often think the question through myself.
I might be selling real estate.
Well, there's always a desk. So you've just come back from Bali. Where else do you like to travel? Probably more so with the family than all the
To be honest, it used to be America.
Yep.
As a kid, I was very fascinated. All the motorbike videos I watched were all over there. Like, I love it. Probably my 2 favourite spots over there were Denver and Arizona.
Yeah, awesome.
Love it. I've done America
to death.
More than anyone I know. So that's a tough question. Like, we love Bali because of the beautiful nature and the just what goes on. But I'm happy on my own back doorstep. As well.
So special, isn't it?
I've got a caravan. I love taking the kids outside and keeping them off the Wi-Fi where I can. Like, I enjoy motorbike riding. So
Are the kids on motorbikes?
Getting them into it.
Okay.
Like, my oldest now loves it.
Yes.
But I don't, I don't push anything on my kids. I'd let them just, if they like what I like, great. If not, they can play chess if they want.
Yeah,
but,
amazing.
I wouldn't mind going to Dubai, I think.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
probably somewhere, I think, once again for the kids.
Yeah.
Like the resorts over there and things. I just want to, anywhere the family has a good time.
Yeah, amazing.
I've seen enough of the world to...
It's incredible, isn't it, how your priorities shift. I know, like COVID was a huge game changer for your business. Like that was literally probably a really good blessing to be able to enjoy your backyard.
Good. It was good being able to be around my kids a lot more. And then when COVID started opening up and I started travelling again, like I got to go to Cannes in France. That was really cool. I've been to so many countries I never would have travelled to if it wasn't for the business.
Yeah.
But I just think you can't get you can't get that time back with your kids.
Yeah,
and it's such a special time. 8 and a 4-year-old.
Freddie and
Benji.
Yeah, we say Freddie because I've got my little pug Freddie and I love it. Freddie and Benji. What lights them up? What's their passions?
Oh, if I told you they enjoy watching kids and adults unwrap presents on YouTube.
I love it. That's so cute.
Does your head in? No, it's not cute. It's terrible.
Far out.
And they like watching this guy play Minecraft.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And they've got Minecraft, they don't play it, they don't even know how to play it.
Yeah,
so they get sucked into this content that's sort of numbing, I feel.
Yeah.
That's being honest.
No, of course.
But my oldest son, putting a positive on all that, because I get the kids are going to have tech in their lives.
Yeah.
But you need to teach them like just real life without it.
Yeah.
Because kids can freak when there's no Wi-Fi.
We just spoke about that though, didn't we? About even for us, like, we're both pretty tech obsessed. We're pretty like that is our world, isn't it? Content and being online. But there is nothing more empowering. I just went to Lady Elliot Island for 2 days with no internet.
Never been there before, want to go.
Yeah.
But my son plays soccer.
Yeah, awesome.
He's picked up soccer.
Yeah.
And, Bali, we bought heaps of like Messi singlets.
Yeah,
and all these soccer jerseys. Soccer.
Awesome.
And where I live, we just got rid of our little play area at the back. I've got soccer fields there now. I love nothing more than kicking the ball with my son.
Yeah.
I'm an AFL kid. I played that all growing up, but I didn't. He plays soccer, and I can't be more happier for him. And his team has not stopped winning since.
How good is that? My dad was a soccer referee growing up, so we always had the bag of soccer balls in the car.
My son's got the full Steve Irwin mullet. It's crazy. Best probably haircut I've seen on a kid. And he looks like Beckham out there playing. And he just picked it up and went for it.
Isn't
it's
it
just,
amazing?
That's his passion.
Yeah, absolutely.
I said to him yesterday, I said, what do you love most about school? He said PE.
Yeah.
So he loves sport and I was the same way. So get him active, get him burning some energy.
Absolutely, and enjoying life together. Yeah. What was the best day of your life, Brad Filiponi?
There's been a lot.
You can pick as many days as you want.
Nah, let's just say, probably obviously having kids.
Yeah.
Like, there's plenty, but just having my kids around me.
Yeah.
Like playing soccer down the beach, just anything with my kids.
It's so worthwhile, isn't it? All those moments of getting through to where you are now.
Just moments with the kids. I think, I bought a book on the way home from Bali. My son's like, never seen you read before, Dad.
Yeah.
I'm like, I read all the time. He goes, nah, but like a book. I'm probably reading books in the study, doesn't see and stuff like that, but just things like that.
You love reading?
No, but I've got it once again. Since I just told myself since I turned 40, I've just got to pick it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's another thing.
Yeah, awesome.
Just trying to broaden the brain power.
Yeah, and what are you reading?
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah, cool.
I've actually always wanted to read it.
So have I.
And to be honest, everything he was learning at age 9, Robert, I'm already teaching my son.
Isn't that epic?
So it's just
Are you a book lender? Do you lend a book or you keep it on the bookshelf?
You can have it up.
We've got a book library here at work. Some people are either one way or the other.
I've got some good books at home too that I've got to reread. But I've always wanted to read it sort of at the airport. Obviously, the flight back from Bali, there was no TVs and the kids have got the iPads and the wife had Netflix. I'm like, I'm going to read a book. I read it non-stop for 5 hours.
Yeah, I love it. I'm such a bookworm. I've got a massive bookshelf next to my bed, and whilst I don't get a chance to delve into many of them, even just looking at them sometimes is just the inspiration.
I think I've got to get Audible, I think. I'd be better listening than reading.
Yeah, I shouldn't give a free plug, but I have on Spotify, I get the free audiobook, 15 hours. So with premium, you get 15 hours a month free. There you go.
Okay. Yep. I did see it there, but okay.
There you go.
All right, there you go.
Brad, favourite meal and drink?
Oh, that's a tough one. I used to love pizza.
Yes.
But I've sort of cut things out of my diet now.
Yep.
I'm gonna say Mexican food.
Yeah, it's just
Like, even I've got a smoker at home. Like I love steak. I love brisket, and I love a good burrito.
so
you know
good.
what I mean? Like, yeah.
Have you been to Barbecue Mafia in Brisbane?
No, I haven't.
Oh, that is good.
But I've just been to Austin, Texas
Oh, yeah.
about 5 times in a row.
I think have you been to Franklin Barbecue? Aaron Franklin's?
I've been everywhere.
Everywhere, man.
Like.
That's my favourite. We lined up. It was so funny because we went to Franklin's Barbecue in Austin and we were like, when's the best day to go? And they said Wednesday. And DB and I got there far earlier than we like to wake up. And you got the chair and we got to meet Aaron. And
sweet.
and I tell you what, if I could just take that tray and to bring that home was just like...
It's sort of like, I won't. Like, I got there, I'm like, it's good, but it's not. Like, I thought it was good, but I was expecting something else.
Okay.
And like I'm just like, we can cook stuff.
You can do it at home.
Australia has pretty good stuff.
Absolutely. We are really
like
blessed.
we're very Americanized.
Yes.
And that's what I sort of feel sometimes too. But barbecue's great. You can't fault it. But the Mexican food in America, oh my God.
I know.
Like,
that was my favourite in Texas. We used to go to, I think it's called Torchy's Tacos.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, so good. Anyway, we'll be back there later this year.
And favourite drink, like, I'm just gonna go with beer.
Yeah.
Like, because you can't get it. It's called Modelo.
Yeah, no Modelo.
So now it's a UFC brand beer.
Yes,
I've been drinking it for like 10 years.
Yeah.
It's just the best.
Yeah.
But I love good filtered water at home.
Yeah,
nice. I've got,
Aren't we blessed to have it?
Yeah, well, I've got, filters and stuff in my house. I shower in filtered water.
Yeah,
I do all
epic.
that sort of thing.
So has that been something that has sort of transitioned? You mentioned about, making, different choices.
Oh, no, I think, when was it? I think I've been I think when I was 20, now I'm going back, there was a birthday party. It was a birthday, and Mum's like, "What do you want?" I said, "If everyone wants to chip in, and I'll pay the rest just to get a filtered water tap at home, triple osmosis."
Yes, yeah.
I don't know if that's the best one to get, but it's still filtered.
Yeah.
There's lots of stuff in your water if you didn't realise, team.
Yep.
And only recently we got it redone, and I said, "You know what? I want to start showering in filtered water too." So I'm double filtered.
Epic. That's so good.
Just because I'm like, water, your body's made up of 80% of it, right?
Absolutely.
So that was, but. I'll drink anything within reason,
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? Like you can have the times where you kind of get to know what that sort of moderation level is as well. Yep. We have spoken. I knew we would talk forever, but I hope this is the first of many catch-ups that we have. The whole premise behind the podcast is really to literally give beyond the signboard. So many people think that real estate is literally put a signboard up and a sold sticker. And sure, there's probably a couple of peaks in the industry that you've seen where that happened, but really,
a lot of hard work that goes behind the scenes. It's not all coffee catch-ups and podcasts, is it?
No, that's exactly right. But I think what I've loved most is having people and being able to shine a spotlight on your business, you as a person as well. So let's end with your favourite quote or saying.
Like it's probably one that my brother probably put on. Well, I said it before. I think the more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. And I think that sort of same sort of thing is like do what you say, be a hard worker. I just think it's all those things we've really seen collectively in this podcast. Like you get out what you put in. That's probably another one. I think it's kind of all the same thing. It's like work as hard as you can, and generally there's a better chance it could pay off for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you did, sort of delve in and say, like it doesn't always go to plan.
No, unfortunately.
And such is life, isn't it, ultimately? True. But I think, you along with other guests, there's a real common theme, which is hard work, determination, self-belief, and being a bloody good human being. Like I said, I think ultimately, if you've got those and you're on the way, does it always turn out? Maybe not best laid plans, but like you said, there's always a positive in even those tough times.
Yeah, and I think you just got to, it's just, life's difficult. And I think the way life is moving so quickly now with technology, it's scary. You've got to keep up with it.
Absolutely.
And if you don't, you will be left behind.
Perfect. So I think the key message there is keep up with technology, but get off it if you can as well. Enjoy the time.
100%. Moderation, right?
Absolutely. All right, Brad. It has been absolutely amazing to have you. Fist pump. And look forward to another catch up soon.
Likewise. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Beyond the Signboard. We trust you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed making it for you. If there are any topics you want covered in the future, make sure you reach out and let us know. Also, feedback and suggestions are appreciated almost as much as likes, shares and downloads.